Is the system working or not?
No, it's so obvious. It's so obvious that it's not working.
I want all working like South Africa. That's how it's working. You know what? South Africa for all the Crips and Bloods to unite and stand together. And we're standing together, fuck the white man on the street.
Right across the street from the campus of USC. You can see some of the devastation in this area. The rubble is just, you know, we keep saying it over and over again, but it looks like a bomb has hit the area, but that's just the best way to describe it. It's exactly what it looks like. This is right across the street from USC, and many of the residents here are upset about what's happening. They're having a debate about what has happened, the community reaction to it. Ma'am, we were talking to you a moment ago. What's your reaction to all that's happened since the Rodney King verdict?
All this is a shame because they had all this on tape. They saw the way Rodney King was beaten. His car did not go over 80 miles. They really beat him. And it's a shame the way they let Powers walk out of there laughing and smiling. They know that it was wrong. And it's a shame the way they are acting towards us. And plus, they ought to stop tearing up our neighborhood and let's stick together. We got to pull through this. Stop burning our town down and let's pull through this. Let's go to Parker Center and march. We're not going to resolve this problem by burning up everything. We got to live around here. We got to eat. So where are we going to go now? Let's go down to Parker Center and march.
That's true. All of it needs to stop. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I know the government or whatever.
One at a time.
Stop the violence. Let me talk. I know that the government, whatever, can't stand us black people. He's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Us black people going to survive. Yeah. Now, it's wrong about the black people tearing up the, burning down buildings. That's wrong. But still, through it all, we going to survive. So fuck everybody. I'm off.
All right, well, that's just an example of the frustration that's being felt here right across the street.
The cracked ribs, 7 stitches above his right eye, a bashed-in nose, cuts and bruises all over. You are looking at a victim of a mob scene yesterday. You were on a delivery route yesterday that took you to Florence and Normandy. What happened, Larry?
Oh, the only thing I know is people started throwing bottles at the windows, broke it, and the next thing I knew, they threw me out of the truck, threw me on the ground, and started kicking me.
Was there any chance to escape?
No. But none whatsoever.
Could you even fight back?
No. They were bigger than I am.
Any idea how long this beating lasted? I mean, look at your body. You've got bruises over your legs. You said you have cuts on your hip, your face. You've got a knot behind your head. Do you know how long this attack took place?
No, I do not. I have no idea. I lost all track of time at the time.
Did you think you'd make it out alive?
I wasn't thinking about nothing, just trying to just cover up and try to keep from getting hit so much.
Do you know why you were attacked?
No, I do not.
No idea. And you didn't even know this trouble was going on? You weren't listening to the radio? You hadn't seen television?
I don't have a radio in that truck, so I had no idea what was going on or nothing.
And you just drove right into a mob scene?
That's right. That's all I did.
Well, thanks, Larry. In addition...
are they not Asian-owned businesses throughout that corridor?
I think most are, Harold. I think most are either Korean or Filipino, although there are a lot of Arabs that live in this area and a lot of Latins, too. So this is a very mixed neighborhood. And this is... You can see these two clowns behind the gentleman we're talking to. I mean, this is, yeah, they think a lot about what happened to Rodney King. I mean, that's the last thing on their mind. This is party time out here. This is rock and roll in L.A., and they're going from one store to the other. Now, you watched what happened. You've been trying to protect your store so far successfully, but you're just by yourself.
Yes, by myself. I can't do anything. The security gentlemen that were here, there were 3 of them. They said, hey, we got to go because we can't control it. As soon as one squad car comes in here, that seems like that has an effect on it. Right now, just as we talk, behind you, the police are over here, and they're going back into the stores.
So they're back where they started a little while ago. The police moved them. They went over here. They attacked that store. Now they're back on this side. Now, just a minute ago, before they moved across the street, We were taping as a couple of guys came out. I mean, there were hundreds coming out with lots of goods and everything. But we called a couple of the looters over and asked them some questions about it, and there were a lot of bystanders that weren't happy about their answers. Let's play that tape.
Okay, here we go.
You don't grab the microphone. You don't grab the camera. Back up. Okay, now you just got this stuff out of there?
No, he found it right outside. Somebody else.
It's just laying around.
And why do you do this?
Oh, I didn't do it. Because they said... He talking to me. He's talking to me. I was walking down the street, really not wanting to be a part of anything, and all this stuff was just laying out there. It's laying everywhere. People throwing everything down here.
Do you own it? Is it your stuff? Is it your stuff?
Well, I just paid for it. Finders keepers, losers sweepers.
That's it, huh? That's it?
Let me have a word.
No, he wasn't.
How you doing? I never went in the store. I never went. They should have beat that black man's butt and let them people go. What if it was you? What if it was you?
Let me ask you.
What if it was you?
Have your chance.
Okay, what if it was you? What if you got beaten like that?
Why did you get beaten? And so you can go steal anything out of
They steal. They let him go. How come they don't let all these thieves go? They let them go. What's the difference?
We got the black on.
What's the difference?
What about the black?
But see, I never. Well, baby, it ain't black. It could be a white.
Why are you feeling so you talking about the white man?
Don't call me brother if you don't mean it.
Baby, this is as long as you love me, as long as you are part of my life, you are my sister, you are my brother. You still from your brother, fuck you. Fine. You have no right to take care of your man.
I don't want to. Hey, it's been fun. We gotta run.
Good. Gene Gleason reporting live back to you.
And there is looting going on. Police cars going by, and they're not stopping. What's the situation here?
The situation is y'all respect us, and we respect you, and turn in, fuck you.
Let me tell you something. Yeah.
Apparently this looting has been going on all night and into today. Is that right?
Yeah, you know damn well.
Whoa.
You know it wasn't fair for y'all to do Rodney King like that.
The situation here is that it's basically uncontrolled. The police have been going by, and they have kept on moving, and we're going to throw it back to the studio.
All right, perhaps
Yeah, this is Vaughn's on Vermont and 3rd, and I didn't know everybody was just running really crazy, and everybody was running inside the store, and we followed them. We followed everybody in, and I guess, well, the pictures really tell you what happened.
What was the reaction of these people to you shooting their pictures?
It was. Excuse me, can you get out of the way here? I'm trying to do something.
Nobody really cared.
No, not at all.
Nobody minded having themselves identified, their faces shown.
No. No.
That's what we've seen all day long. Same thing, looting going on with impunity. Nobody really worried about being caught, seen,
What are they hitting? The liquor trays here? And,
yeah, cigarettes, liquor,
meat.
Yeah, there's a guy shot at the end where he's disturbed that the meat fell out of his bag.
One of the awful things that's been happening, liquor stores have been looted an awful lot. People drink that liquor. That inflames the situation immeasurably. Have you been seeing people drinking?
Yeah, I've got a few shots of them last night when they're drinking and busting into the liquor stores. And
look at this frenzy. Now, did you get any sense at all that these people were concerned one iota about the Rodney King verdict?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay, the first pictures appeared to be a video store, a warehouse store.
This is the store that was owned by the Korean woman who said, angry? Who am I angry at? Who's to blame? This is the looting of her store and other stores in that region, taking whatever they could carry.
What are you doing this for? What happened? Sodas. We get sodas. What happened here?
People walking out with food, drinks, anything they could carry.
Diapers, and that in. And as we said, blacks, whites, men, women, old, young. What the police are calling the crime of opportunity.
Store now, and these people have been driving in throughout the afternoon, and they are looting. They are running around freely in and out of the stores, taking what they want, And Captain Ron has come online. Welcome aboard, Captain Ron. You've been over the scene. We've been watching this throughout the afternoon. It's unabated. And do you see any police presence?
No, I don't, Harold, and thanks a lot. It's great to be back. I just arrived on this scene, and when I arrived, I thought that we had a fire on the north end, and then I thought this was routine shopping traffic for Fedco with all the cars out here, and just a closer look, and I realized that people are running around, and they're actually stealing out of the store. It's absolutely unbelievable to me as I watch this scene below me.
Well, it is unbelievable, and we heard the mayor of Compton say that his city is clamping down, and they are going to put a stop to this. We understand right now that the National Guard is being deployed in Southern California in conjunction with the CHP and the LAPD, and obviously their total effort will be to curtail this kind of thing. Christine, you said it early on this afternoon that this is feeding on itself now. You've got people coming down there, men, women, some of them even bringing their children in their cars. It's almost like they're on a shopping spree.
It really is, Harold. It's just hard to imagine this is going on. And you mentioned the National Guard. I've been listening on some of the aircraft radios, and there are reports that the National Guard is now deploying just south of the Coliseum. And once we get done covering this, we can head out that way and see if we can see some of the first deployment of that National Guard.
We watched this looting at this shopping mall. I want to stress a couple of things that have happened. Two very sad things among all of the fires that are breaking out, and they're just breaking out like a virus all over the area affected. Two key places that burned. Mark Ridley Thomas's own field office is burned right down to the ground. There's not a bit of it left. Mark Ridley Thomas's city council field office in south central Los Angeles burned. Also, a city library branch has been burned down to the ground. There is nothing left of it, and it is particularly sad, not only the loss of the books and what it means to the community, it's also a historical landmark. It's gone.
And the people just walked in. The security guards gave up. The store said, that's it, we're getting out of here. And the people just walked in, some with shopping carts. They turned the sprinkler system on, we're told, so that the store could not be torched. They wanted to keep everything wet. Now, at one point, we had a small problem, and we won't necessarily show you that, but one gentleman came up and tried to take the camera away from photographer Dave Bussey, and we had to retreat out of the store at that point. There was absolutely no fear of our being there, and just maybe 25, 30 feet away, there were a number of LAPD officers who were just watching. They were helpless. The store was different. Some people walked out with a shopping cart full of soap. Others took liquor. Others took tape. You name it, they had it. And the parking lot was just full of cars. There were hundreds of people there. And nobody seemed to care much about it. Most of them were laughing and joking with us. And again, we told you about this earlier. Many of these folks brought their kids with them. And no one can quite understand what kind of a lesson that is meant to be for them. Folks were not at all reluctant to talk with us. Many of them did. In fact, one woman who came out with a shopping cart full of groceries was more than willing to talk to us. And as she unloaded it all, she told us that, yeah, she didn't think she was stealing anything, that it was there to be taken, and somebody was going to take it, so it might as well be her. We're losing our picture now. Again, we're the damage inside and out. Young people of all ages, teenagers. You wondered about the people there in their 30s and 40s and 50s who were going in there, bringing out cartons of food and other foodstuffs and supplies.
Joe, do you get the feeling?
Yeah, Harold.
Do you get the feeling watching these people up close that they almost feel it's their right to participate in this kind of looting and lawlessness?
That was the problem. We mentioned that last time, Harold. They think because of the Rodney King decision that they're not getting a fair shake, and this is their way of showing the system that they're going to get back. And here we have the lady with the shopping cart. She talked to us about what she took and why.
Some cheese, some bologna, different things like that. Things for my kids, my guy kids. Well, the police are not doing nothing. If they wanted to stop us, they would have stopped us already.
What would you consider what you did? Did you say it was stealing?
No. No, I don't consider it stealing, because if it was wrong, they would have stopped us.
Hurry.
You know, all this wouldn't have happened if they would have done us right. That's all I got to say.
What's your name?
Sharon Tillman. Sharon Tillman.
Okay, thanks, Sharon.
Donna, help me with this stuff. Hey, please, get the door.
Total lack of morality involved here, a total sense of right from wrong.
for good looting, but I would certainly have to agree with him that that was the worst case of it that I had seen. We were saying earlier that, boy, if we could only see some sign of the National Guard, if only we could see some sign of enhanced police authorities' response to all of the mayhem and chaos that we've seen. And there it is, our first look at it. And Captain Ron, you said it was there. You were showing it to us. Can you talk to us about it a little bit?
Now, one of those injured...
That building, and in some cases then turned around and threw the bottles at cars that were passing by.
And then they crossed the street and looted a gas station and then sort of anti-goggling across the street in an auto parts repair store, which they set on fire. It was an awful 40 minutes or so watching that intersection.
Because that is where the most graphic, aside from the fires, the horrible fires we've been watching all night, but the most graphic violence took place at that intersection because that's where people were dragged out of their cars. That one man that we saw lying on the ground next to the big 18-wheel truck was just dragged out, kicked, stomped, and in the case of the man with the semi-truck, somebody finally came over and relieved him of his wallet as he lay there. He is in very critical condition.
Just rolled up here. We're at Western Avenue and 18th Street. Radio Shack burning behind us. That was what attracted our attention. And then we saw this. Come and look over here. Across the street, the Viva Market there. Those people are not shoppers. They are looters. They are grabbing whatever they can grab. I saw a man walking down the street just a little bit ago with an armful of diapers, and the looting hasn't stopped. Okay, look, over there, Gary. J.J. Newberry, somebody just threw a firebomb in there. It is now burning. J.J. Newberry burning here at the corner of Western and 18th Street in south central Los Angeles. Black smoke pouring out of that area now. Two people running away. We don't know if they're the people who started the fire, but look at the smoke pouring out of that building. You can bet the flames will soon follow. This is an amazing scene here. You've got a fire behind me. You've got a fire that just started there. I mean, literally, since we've been on the air, just started there at J.J. Newberry, and people looting to the left here. I have a feeling that this Viva store, this grocery store, is probably going to go up fairly soon when they finish looting it. What have you seen so far?
Like all these polluters everywhere, everything.
Were you inside Viva? What's going on in there?
Nah, I haven't been inside there.
Well, I have. You have?
Yeah, everybody's taking all the food and everything.
See a lot of people running. Have you taken anything?
To be honest, yes.
What have you taken?
Pack of cigarettes and that's it.
Why? Why are you breaking the law like this? You know this is illegal. You know this is wrong. Why are you doing it?
Well, since I've seen everybody do it, that's why I just did it too. That's the only reason I got. But I'm mad too because of, about the Rodney King case.
Go inside, obviously. It was too hazardous to do that. But then we have the reports of others who say that someone did go in. Somebody drove up in a Jeep or a Suzuki Samurai. They went in and they didn't come out. So we have those two conflicting reports here. But one thing there's no conflict about at all, that J.J. Newberry store is no more.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's a total loss, and it's burned up like crazy here. Flames just started shooting out. There was almost an explosion here just a little bit ago. As I was approaching the officers, it's just a big explosion of flame. Kind of knocked me back a little bit, but that's the situation here. More fire units rolling up on the scene. You can hear them staging at 18th Street there in Western, and they're sending another hook and ladder up to the area.
Now the question is, do they keep it away from the Save-On drugstore and the grocery store that's on the other side of that? You got another 3-4 buildings in line there, don't you? Or stores?
You sure do. From my angle, from what I can see, this Kids World store, which is right next to Newberry's, is going up too, from what I can see. Also, it looks like this shop it says Fashions for Women, Melody Shops, Fashions for Women. That looks like that's in real danger if it hasn't actually started burning.
Well,
this guy right here, see this? Get this guy. See, he's got the can in his hand. The sergeant, that was the man that the police sent on his way a second ago. They say he's been attacking the fire trucks, throwing things at him. They told him, if he keeps it up, he's going to jail. Now, you can see him taunting the officers right there. This is emblematic of what's been happening right here. Officers have told this man, according to Sergeant Garino, that if he continues to interfere with the fire department, with the firefighters, that they're going to take him away. There you see, the people are back inside. That started looting again. The police officers at this point are protecting the firefighters who are working on this fire here at the Newberry store on Western at 18th. And so what you have there, people have gone back inside the store. They feel that they can do this now with impunity. There's a lady coming out right now out of the main entrance. Look at her. Her arms are full of material there, full of stuff. People going in. The police see it. They know what's going on, but at this point, apparently, they feel they can do nothing about it. So there you see people. It looks almost as though they're shopping in a sense. You know, if you weren't sure that the store was obviously closed and if the doors weren't as destroyed as you see they are, it just looks like kind of like people are in there shopping. And I can imagine what the scene must be inside that store. It must be just absolutely crazy. But people are just bringing out whatever they can carry. Look at them, all those diapers, lady with a bunch of diapers. I think it's interesting. I mean, from what you're seeing here, people are bringing out things. It doesn't look like it's stuff that they can sell. I don't know how many diapers you can sell. I don't know if these are people who are necessarily profiting from this. I think they're just taking what it appears that they need. Obviously, it's theft. Obviously, it's wrong. Well, there's a certain necessity that seems to be driving what people are doing here.
Stocking up a little bit.
You alluded to it earlier, Mark. They're reluctant to do it. They see everybody else doing it, and in their minds they say, look, I need this stuff. I can't afford it. I'm going to do it. But if you ask them when they come out, like the guy with the cigarettes, they'll give you all the reasons why they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we may actually move up there a little bit if we can stretch our cable that far, maybe ask some of these folks, talk to them, do an exit poll, if you will. All right, well, wait a minute. Before, I'm sorry, the hour is late.
That's all right, we needed something to laugh about.
This is a very serious situation. The police are coming up right now. Look. There they come. They're coming up to the store again. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're watching watching the news. Whoa. Look at that. Whoa.
Well,
let's just fast.
Last time they didn't arrest anybody, did they? They just sort of shoot them away.
Not that I saw. Not that I saw.
Let's see what happens this time.
We'll see.
There's one.
They're getting out. They've got their guns drawn. Guns drawn. They're chasing folks now. They're chasing people through the parking lot. They're chasing after this one guy who's got some diapers. Okay, let's see what happens. Look at that. They're going after that guy. Look at that. There he goes. Okay, well, he got away. He outran him. People are cheering on the looter. People are cheering for him. He got away from the police. They're cheering him on. He got away. Let's see what else we've got here. That officer picked up a case of beer, a 12-pack of beer, and brought it back. The guy dropped the beer, but he got away. I don't see anybody yet who's under arrest as I look around. I don't know if you can see this, Paul and Ann. The officers have made entry into the store again. They got their hands on their weapons. One person has a shotgun pointing into the air, one officer.
Mark, we can see it vividly, and it looks to me like they're going in there and they're sort of half-chasing, if you know what I'm saying. I think they're trying to clear it out.
Yeah, you get that feeling. I think if they could have caught that guy, they would have, but they were content to let him go. They didn't want to chase him all the way down the street.
Well, this is unprecedented in my experience. We have never sat here and watched as the minutes rolled by as people looted a store and then twice watched the police come and chase them away and arrest nobody. This is...
And then when the police move, 100 yards away to protect firefighters, the same people come back in and start looting all over again.
It's an amazing situation, really. It's been very fluid here.
AM.
Well, we do not know, of course, what developments will occur this morning. We are getting some reports now of looting in Long Beach, but we do not know how much is happening there or exactly where. We should tell you that there has been a legal development, and that is that the U.S. government is now getting involved in a federal investigation involving those 4 policemen who were acquitted yesterday on all except for one charge, were not found guilty. And they have said that they will now conduct an investigation which could result in criminal indictments being leveled against these 4 police officers. We don't know how long the investigation will take, but it is now clear that the federal government is getting involved in criminal charges that Rodney King's civil rights might have been violated.
We had one barrage of gunfire after another. It was like being in a war zone. And, of course, we began to characterize Los Angeles as a war zone a couple of years ago when the gang problem began to soar. We have really lived up to that. One other note I should pass along since we're here. In this particular shopping center today, we've had a number of crews from other countries, specifically from Japan. They seem to be taking a great interest in what is going on here. We also have, we are told, some correspondents from Korean television stations and news organizations who are intensely interested in what is going on here. And, of course, we've got news crews from all over the United States here. Let's take one more look at this area. Again, these small shops here, and Lionel, if you could, as you pan over and you see the Pacific Telephone building there. Just beyond the Pacific Telephone offices is a Bank of America, and as we were driving up here, we saw the Versateller, which was just ripped out of the wall. The access door into that area so that you can get back into the mechanics of it, that was torn out. I don't know how much money they got away with, but they went right to that. Again, as we continue on, there's the Boys Market, ripped. Everything in there of any sort of value is taken out. The place is flooded. We're not sure what the source of that is, but nevertheless, those are the reports we're getting from the Sheriff's Department, or the Police Department, I should say. And then as we continue across, we just see one after another, little independent businesses, people who live in this community or who at least have a large investment in this community, and they have just been destroyed. I think it's fair to say that a corporation like the Boys Market chain, they'll be able to survive, but what do you do if you're a businessman, a family-operated business here that's just trying to make it, and something like this happens? It's just, there's no answers. No answers.
Tony, I have a question for you.
Sure, Barbara.
What have you noticed about the attitude towards police on the part of the looters? Some seem to have just blatant disregard for police officers.
Yeah, there is absolute disregard. I think that is probably going to start changing tonight as the presence of law enforcement is much more obvious.
You get a group of gentlemen. Gentlemen, this used to be your place of business, right?
Used to be my place, yeah. It's A. Bill's Auction Company.
Were you here last night when the fire started?
No, I wasn't.
Did you have any idea if this place is insured?
Oh, yes, insured.
It is insured.
Oh, yes,
what do you do? First of all, your name, sir?
My name is Donnie Goodlow.
Are you in some kind of shock over what happened here last night?
Kind of, yeah. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
Did you expect it?
Kind of, yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I mean, have people vented their anger enough now? Is it over with, or more to come?
I have the slightest idea.
How about you? How do you personally feel?
No comment on that.
All right. You have a job? I mean, this is where you work, and you...
I still have a job, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, one of the lucky ones, I guess.
Well, it's all a part of life, isn't it?
Tough way of life.
It's a tough way of life. Tough way to live.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Again, on Adams, right up the street from the church, and it's so... the contrast. Last night in a packed church of 1,400 people singing and praying and hearing speaker after speaker telling them, please, no violence, no violence. And now, just one block away, you see the number of people left homeless, the number of businesses no longer here. And up the street of the liquor store, the black and white has left. Apparently, whoever was in that liquor store looting has come and gone. It was in this location, just right across the street, where our cameraman, Marshall Sherwood, was getting shots of actual looting going on when he was hit on the side of the head. And I'm very pleased to report that Marshall is okay. He was knocked a little groggy, but he's okay. Our camera was rescued, and we were able to bring you those pictures of what happened last night. So an incredible scene here on Adams, one time a bustling neighborhood, a very diverse ethnic group here, and now they're wondering what they do next.
Looks like there right now. These are live pictures. What are your thoughts as you see what is left of this business? This is tape. This was just shot a little earlier.
Well, first of all, I think that this is so senseless. They're burning everybody. I really don't think that my dad deserved this type of treatment. It's a black-owned pharmacy, and he has good rapport with the neighborhood. I just don't see how this can happen to Doc, which is what my father is named in the area. Basically, this store, I'm crushed because I'm 28 years old, and that pharmacy set the foundation for my college education and the current job that I'm employed with now. I leave fond memories of that, and I've worked at this store since I was 10 years old. And I remember how my father used to always drag me down there to build a solid work ethic for me. When I wanted to go play with my friends, he sent me down there to the store and taught me, business skills at an early age. And I really don't. This is just so senseless. I'm just totally upset when I saw these pictures. Actually, I saw the store last night from a copter view, and I notified my father then.
Greg, what will be the effect on the neighborhood now with the loss of your father's pharmacy?
Well, one, they're losing a good man who really worked hard and strived to work with the people in the neighborhood and tried to understand their frustrations and their problems.
You tell us very eloquently how your father raised you. How is he taking this?
Well, he's taking it about as well as he can right now, you know, there's really nothing you can do. It's already damaged. And
you know, my grandmother always says violence begets violence. Unfortunately, you don't have people out there who plan to go out and to loot. What you have is anger and frustration being played out in all kinds of senseless ways. That's what happens when people are frustrated and anger and feel there is no justice. The black males that are out on those streets, they decided with that verdict that there's nothing they can do to show that there is police abuse and violence. There's nothing they can do to get justice. If, in fact, when you have something as graphic as the videotape that captured the beating of Mr. King, and that cannot get you a conviction, then they really don't care what happens now. Many of them are just out there. They don't know what they're doing. And I focus on what created this situation, the real shame, the real violence, the real outrage, the real violation of everything was with that beating. And to have that conviction has triggered a kind of anger and resentment that's going to be hard to put a cap on.
Everybody taking the shit. No, we are. Now, if you are in control of the neighborhood, what are you going to do with it now? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to loot it and burn it down, or what happens next?
Well, it's staying like it is. We don't care what happens to the neighborhood. It's our neighborhood. You know, they do nothing anyway. They're fucking us up like they did around the King, so what's the
And if you look back behind me there's a liquor store, and you can see a white car over there. That white car has a driver in it, and that driver is dead, and he's still sitting in that car. We're told that it appears that he was shot in the head, or at least shot, and that he was shot, and then he crashed his car into that sign, and the police are on the scene there checking it out. It's just one of the tragedies that's happened. We don't know anything beyond the fact that this man is dead here at the scene inside of his car. Just in talking to some of the residents here, there's a lot of anger. They say that you know, this is the kind of thing that's happening all the time in this neighborhood. It's not a big surprise. Your name again? And
Kevin Johnson.
What's your reaction to this, Kevin?
My reaction right now is that this type of thing happens every day around this park. But that little shot over there, he shouldn't have been over this way, and that's on the rear.
Why do you say that?
Because he flashed it first, he got it taken away from him, and he got it used on him.
In other words, he had a gun, he showed it, and then he had it shot.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. And your name, sir?
I decline to give my name. I think this could best be summed up. Once again, you know, here's a white individual. I'm not saying it's good that he's dead. You know, I can't come off that hatred thing, but we've constantly been portrayed. We have constantly been portrayed as animals. The media, regardless, you guys have to do your job in covering us, but the negative images, the movies, the stereotypes, it's constantly been reinforced. And unfortunately, besides harming us, a great deal of the white majority who, you know, they were sentenced in a way as well as us, because now, for ignorant brothers or ones who are just nothing to lose, a lot of us have nothing to lose now. A lot of us have nothing to lose. And it's not just a black thing. This transcends race. It's blacks, Mexicans. I was pointing out to one of the news anchors. It's the Japanese. All you so-called minorities. Once again, I use that word so-called minorities. Hispanics are 67% of Los Angeles. This could go on and on. This could be one of the hottest summers. And all I can say is, if I could use one sentence to sum it up, the problem is there's too many with too little, and there's too few with too much.
Okay, and thank you very much. That's just one of the. There's a great deal of frustration, and this is just one place. We've heard these kinds of things everywhere we go today, and so clearly a lot of frustration. And one person back here. Apparently, it's funny that one person was killed, but we have a dead person back there, and it's a big joke.
It's taking the merchandise.
Cuz, it's fun.
It's fun?
Yeah.
Why are you taking it?
Why? Because it's free. Everybody's having it. Why not? I mean, I was
give that to your child that you stole out of the store?
Yeah. Yeah.
You think it's right?
Well, it's not right, but when you don't have a
Yeah, what else can you do?
You don't have to do that.
You know what I mean?
This guy says you're wrong.
You don't have to do that. You know, people working hard to make a business.
You know, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But let the other people do it. So, come on, everybody!
What do you think? You just watch them, completely loot all those stores.
I think that actually it's a very immature thing to do, you know.
You hear what those people said? This stuff belongs to us.
Well, it does now. Now they're saying that, well, it was thugs and it was gang members. Look around you. These are people are not thugs and gang members. These are women, children, babies, people that live in this community who are tired of the constant oppression and constant abuse that they've been served by this community. And one would say, well, okay, we shouldn't be doing it, and they shouldn't be. But by the same token, I'd like to see the media say that the jurors in Simi Valley are as racist as they're claiming that these people are thugs.
Well, we
can see right now there are a lot of spectators that are out, and police are warning anyone that if you do not need to be out in the areas where all of this kind of activity is happening, please do not be here because it is a dangerous situation. They've been trying to get a control of what's going on, and it's just been very difficult. That's what's happening out here. Barbara and Carlos, back to you.
Michelle, we were watching as the police were getting people out of that building. They're not arresting these people.
They are not, and it's because they just don't have the manpower to do that. What are they going to do? If they start arresting people, that means they've got to take them in their cars, take them back to the stations. They just don't have that. Police right now are basically concentrating on just trying to keep the streets as safe as they can and helping the firefighters deal with fires. As a matter of fact, right over here we've got a fire that's going on, and this is a fire crew that actually we have met up with several times this morning. We've just been following them from blaze to blaze, and the fire chief there told me that they basically are just trying to quickly knock down fires because they can't necessarily put them entirely out because they just need to deal with what's going on at that particular moment and then go on, and they are aware that just by quickly knocking them down, they're not entirely taking them out and they'll flare up again. And so a lot of the fires that you're seeing taking place right now are just fires that have started to burn again that haven't necessarily been completely knocked out.
And I watched the faces of some of the people behind you. It's bizarre. It's almost as though they're all there for a party. There's not any
Yes,
violence
that's right. I
going
mean,
on.
people are out here watching, people are participating. It's just very chaotic. And some people here, although they are not participating, they are basically not necessarily discouraging what's going on. And then others are here. I saw a few people trying to discourage people from going in.
One of the questions that I have for you, Michelle, is just how widespread this is. You drove to this scene. Now, how far is that from the blast place you were at?
This is actually probably, I'd say, maybe less than a mile,
okay.
Perhaps a mile from where we are. Most of this activity that's going on is basically in South Central.
This one's coming down live. We've got a little bit on tape. You can see this wall that came down. That was about 10 or 15 minutes ago. That was the appliance store. The back wall that came down, most important for these people, that was the back wall that came down near the residential structure.
What is, however, most significant about the scene here is the number of people hanging around. Yes, we've been reporting there is a curfew, but either these people don't know about it or they just don't seem to care because the streets have been packed here with people. This woman cares very much. It was your business that's burning down now. Tell me what you told me before about it.
For what?
You were saying how horrified you were that this could actually make you homeless.
Yeah,
you have no insurance.
No, I don't have insurance. Nobody has insurance. This is for 17 family people that work in here. 17 family people. All that merchandise is for 17 people. And nobody has insurance. They make it $5, $10 a day. This is they are living with this money, you know. They are not selling drugs. They are not selling nothing. Only 9 hours, 10 hours they are sitting here and for the business. This is Korean. Everybody is Korean, but they don't want it Korean. I don't know why, and I don't know how. I don't know what. I don't know really. Stupid people. And when I come here, you know, I saw the police is watching. Only they're watching. Why they are not doing nothing? If they can do nothing, they can say to us, we are doing something, you know.
I understand. Let me explain.
Everybody can do something because we are live. I have to live in the street. I can't pay my rent now. What can I do? What everybody can do now?
South Bay, the Hawthorne Plaza has been hit and hit hard and hit again. They put up these boards today, but the people just came back in, tore the boards down, and went right back into this Montgomery ward, and this is the result. This is the damage. Police tell me that they believe there might be 3 looters still loose inside the mall, even though it was shut down hours and hours ago, because people just keep coming back in. There's no way to completely secure it. You see television sets, you see clothes, you see Panasonic phones, you see remote controls strewn all over the floor. And there's looters that know that this is still here, and unlike other parts of the city, they continue to hit again and again and again. We even understand that some have been coming back with bolt cutters in anticipation that there is going to be something to get through. You see the security gates right down there on the floor. They pick those up, about 4 or 5 people, just like they were toothpicks, and push them back down. Now, earlier we were here when the police left and the looters came back in, and we have some pictures to show you of what the scene was like. Within minutes of police leaving, the looters were back on the scene. Even fights erupted over some of the merchandise. That's what happened. That was the scene outside the Montgomery Ward auto parts store, when people just couldn't contain themselves and they began to actually fight over some of that equipment. They keep coming back, and they keep coming back. Eventually, at this location, police arrived on the scene with their weapons drawn. They took some people into custody, but a lot of the people that live here say not enough. We're going to roll another
back here at Baskin-Robbins. As you can see, they are all total losses as of now. The heat is very intense. We're standing about 30 feet away from it. I can feel it on the back of my neck. Actually, I don't know if it's even safe to be here. Joining me now, Neil Kamenkirk, one of the people that lives next door. Neil, what happened?
Well, they came by here and came back from over there, went right over to the Radio Shack and totally ransacked it. And
who do you mean, Neil, when you say they?
Well, there was a gang of about, and they weren't a gang, they were a group of people, about 100 people, 90% black, 10% everything else, and they broke down that Radio Shack, and they'd already been here last night, and they ransacked it, took everything out. I watched them, and then they burned it to the ground. It's a big loss. A lot of jobs are lost here. A lot of people are out of business. I know all these merchants here. I live right across the street. They're not coming back.
Thank you very much, Neil. Let me move aside. Mr. Hayden, come on in here. I understand. Do you live in the area?
No, this is my assembly district, and I was nearby, and I had no intention of being interviewed. I just came to try to understand what the gentleman you were just interviewing was talking about the effect on the neighborhood and the effect on the merchants.
Some of your constituents seem very concerned that of course, police didn't get here on time, they're saying, and firefighters arrived much later also.
Well, it's a big city. I mean, it's an amazing spectacle from the air, and I can understand their concerns, but this is so out of control. The police and firefighters are just simply overextended, and hopefully they'll be here soon, but hopefully this whole episode will run its course within a few hours as well.
Andy, let's walk up. This is the 7-Eleven here at Mid-Wilshire area. One of the employees here who didn't want to go on camera told me they closed about 5 o'clock tonight. So this happened sometime between 5 and now. They totally looted this store. They just ripped the doors open right here, trashed the entire place. They ripped open, Andy, can you zoom in there, those Money-Quick ATM machines. They ripped it right off the wall there to try to get the money. If you could see in there, those are those ATM machines in 7-Eleven. They went right for that first, I guess, ripped that out to get the money. All the debris is strewn all over the place. They got the Coke, 7-Ups, everything, went to the cash register, pulled out one of the video games as well. This happened in the last few hours or so. Spin around over here. Police are making 3 arrests right now. They are going to arrest these 3 people who they say participated in the looting here. These are just one of the many sweeps that police are doing here in the Mid-Wilshire area, all around town to try to stop this looting. Police in riot gear, moving around. They were here. They held these people here for, I believe, the last half hour or so, waiting for some transportation. Very frustrating. They were going to let these people go, but now they finally have some transportation, and they are going to book these people in the county jail. I'm David Goldstein reporting live from Mid-Wilshire. Back to Jerry.
Very brief. Thank you. A couple of new developments for you. One of them just crossing the wires now. Unfortunately, in the last hour, we have to increase the death toll now to 22. two white men on a motorcycle were attacked by a group of 15 or so African Americans in Long Beach tonight. This happened in Long Beach. Both men on the motorcycle were beaten. One of them was shot and killed. The other individual who was beaten is now at Long Beach Memorial Hospital. We have no word on his condition. As soon as we do, we will bring that to you. Another development, you know, a lot of people last night had been asking the question, why, after Governor Wilson ordered the 2,000 National Guard troops into our area, was it taking so long for them to get here? In fact, they were due on the streets by about 3 o'clock in the morning, and as you probably know by now, they did not actually hit the streets until about 2:30 this afternoon, which is about a 12-hour delay. Governor Wilson tells us the reason for delaying the deployment was that there was a lack of bullets, a shortage of ammunition. The ammunition that the troops needed was at Camp Roberts, which is in Paso Robles, and it was simply a logistical problem of getting the ammunition to the troops where they needed it. When the governor found out about this, he ordered the troops into action, as it were, with what ammunition they do have. The governor, upset about this, said it shouldn't have happened and it would not happen again. Also, Governor Wilson heading to our area now. As you probably know, he is due to survey the scene in a National Guard helicopter and later to go over to Parker Center to confer with officials there. That's the latest from the update desk. I'll join you again in a couple of minutes. Jerry.
All throughout this city, and everyone is saying this is in retaliation because of the Rodney King verdict. Well, folks, if this is retaliation for a verdict that people are not pleased with, you can't help but believe that people are destroying their own communities. Hello. Fires on every corner. We're at Pico and La Brea. Everywhere you look, there are fires. There are people standing here needing help, and they can't even get help. It makes you frustrated. It makes me very, very angry. I know as a reporter I'm supposed to remain objective, but sometimes you just can't remain objective when you have people hurt, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm Tony Ginyard reporting live from Pico and La Brea. Back to you.
Our Tony Ginyard reporting live. Tony, I think all of us share your frustration. It's all right. We all know you're a reporter and you're doing your job. You're also a human being, and we certainly appreciate your efforts. It's hell out there, folks. I'm going to show you exactly what Tony Ginyard was talking about. She was talking about, or the woman in the piece that she was interviewing talking about frustration that she felt and because of what happened in the Rodney King beating case. I'm going to give you a quote here, and this is a quote. If the verdict had been right, none of this would have happened. This was a woman who was loading goods into the trunk of her car, goods, of course, that she had stolen. The woman did not give her name, but she said, quote, "It's not stealing. The jury did us wrong." Apparently, a lot of people out there feel like that. Unfortunately, we're going to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Prime 9 News at 9 is about to begin.
Inside a Montgomery Wards that was looted for the first time several hours ago. Looters keep coming back. This is the kind of store that when the National Guard gets here to this area, they'll be standing by to protect. Right now, LAPD is standing by and protecting this store. But let's swing past Officer Higgins here for a second and give you an idea of what's happened inside this Montgomery Ward store. It's absolutely incredible. It's just been cleaned out. Things have been thrown around, ransacked, and if we pan down here, we'll show you the latest set of goods that officers stopped someone from stealing. They took these items, allegedly I should say, took these items, and officers followed them to their home, got the stuff, made them bring it back and put it back in the store. Now, you heard earlier today that somebody told us that their mothers, they saw people with their kids with their mothers coming up to a Radio Shack store, and the mothers were instructing the kids to loot the store, go inside, take particular items, and bring them out to the car. Well, I'm here now with Officer Higgins, and it's a similar kind of story what happened here, except in this case, the child was a 2-year-old. Tell me what happened.
We observed the vehicle leaving the area with freshly wrapped packages in the rear, which gave us a clue that they were most likely not recently bought at this hour when there's a curfew going. So upon our stop, one male passenger got out and ran from us. The female with a 2-year-old baby was left in the vehicle, at which time the baby started crying. We couldn't see it. I guess it was on the floorboard down as the vehicle...
The baby was on the floorboard of the car, so yeah, not even in a child safety.
And they ran for about 3 blocks up from us, running a couple of stop signs on the way. So the safety for the baby, to me, kind of wasn't even thought about. So as we have no resources, we brought the items back to the store in which she said she got the items from. We took a picture of her, the vehicle, and the merchandise, and we'll go for an application for complaint at a later date.
So you just let her go home, be with her baby at this point, and then you'll file a complaint later?
Yes, after getting good ID from her.
Yeah. I don't know how you comprehend any of this, but can you comprehend parents taking their kids to go looting?
No, just I can't understand how you could teach somebody to do that. I don't understand. This is where she lives, too. She lives in the neighborhood. She shops at this store, she says, and she came back. She knew where the items were to take you for free, I guess.
Okay. Thank you very much, Officer Higgins. What kind of example are we setting?
I guess we're on the air now. We've just established communication lines here. Behind me, a whole shopping strip, you can see it's obviously that has been destroyed. It was torched last night, but the building continues to burn even this morning. If you look over here, this building right here has been burning most of the morning, and firefighters have not been around. They have not been anywhere to be seen because they have simply said, we're going to just let this building burn to the ground. As we cross the street, you can see the Kenny Shoes and the Foot Locker stores that have burned down as well. So many businesses around here, literally dozens of businesses in this block, and now I'm at the 86th Street and Western area. Earlier we were at Normandy and Florence, the area where all the violence initially started. Neighbors in this area are some of them condoning the violence, actually, and some are saying they're completely against it. Let's walk over here and talk with a couple of individuals that may be interested in this. Obviously, you're from around this neighborhood, you say. What do you have to say about what's been happening to your neighborhood?
Well, man, I understand what the people are going through, you know, as far as, like, you know, being pulled over by the police and everything, you know, and this is a way to let go their frustrations. But then again, you know, tomorrow the elderly people have to shop in this area and everything like that, man. But, hey, you know, you got people over here, man, they live in this community, too, and they've been going, you know, you can just drive by, and by being a young black man, you can get pulled over for the police for nothing, you know.
Is this the way to answer your frustrations? Do you condone this violence?
Well, I believe that settlement should come through discussion, but you got to let go of your frustration somehow, man. And like all these shops around here, all the ones that I know that's burning are like Korean owned. And look at Latasha Harlins, man. Look what happened yesterday,
Her
man.
family,
I mean,
man.
you know,
What about her family?
her whole family,
Her
man.
grandmother. What about, man, how you gonna put James Brown in jail and you let a motherfucker on tape beat him down?
Excuse me, you're going to have to control your language if you're going to be on television.
How you gonna
Tell me, first of all,
they beat him down.
you condone
He's not even moving. Do I condone this? Yeah, I condone this.
Did you commit it?
Huh?
Are you part of this?
Did you commit it?
No, I'm asking you.
No, don't ask me nothing like that, because I ain't no dummy. I'm not going to tell you on TV that I did this. But I will tell you that it ain't right, man. They had him on the ground, beating him where he can't move, and then they say it was justified.
All right. Okay, obviously, individuals in this neighborhood very outraged. We have choppers still flying overhead. Dozens of officers surrounding this area as well, just trying to keep the tension here at a somewhat calm, even after last night's storm.
Rascone standing.
That's where it all started, and that's how it started, right here at Normandy and Florence. Behind me, some of the remains of the incidents that took place began last night. 2 cars over there burned, they were torched. Behind that, you have a couple of businesses, buildings that were destroyed as well. You have several other cars that dot this area. Traffic is beginning to slowly start moving here this morning. They've opened up some of the streets to limited traffic flow. Again, another car right there that has simply been destroyed, torched last night as well. Debris litters this entire area. Debris from most of the shops around here that were looted last night. This Tom's Liquor Store right here on my side. Let me just walk over this direction and take a look at inside Tom's Liquor Store. This is where it began. This is where the rioting started. This is where initially windows were broken. The entire liquor section of the store has been completely disappeared and demolished. Take a look over here as Dave pans over in this direction. All the windows shattered, all the food, all the belongings, all the contents, the shelves, everything destroyed. It looks like an 8.9 earthquake went through this area. But obviously none of that, just a bunch of thugs and hoodlums out on the streets committing more violence, obviously last night, that lasted most of the evening. William, can you come over here, please? We'll talk to you for a moment. This is a resident who just was trying to get some sleep after not getting much of it last night. And tell me, William, your characterization of what took place last night.
Well, I think that a lot of this was done out of madness and everything, but I think it was unnecessary because we're hurting our own community, because these are the shops that we shop at and the gas stations that we go to, so we're the ones that are going to be in trouble for right now, you know. But I was hoping that we will all blacks, we would come together in a positive way instead of a negative way, you know, and stick together because we need each other, you know. And, you know, it's sad, you know. It's sad to see all of these businesses. A lot of these businesses are black-owned businesses, too. So, you know, we can't just say that it was a result of the Rodney King thing and beating, tearing down things. And this is black-owned businesses, too. So I just hope that we come together as brothers and, you know, take care of business and not all this foolishness, you know.
So this is not the type of, the individuals who committed this violence, not the type that would be going off condoning any type of, I mean, the justice that was served as far as the Rodney King incident.
Well, we all sad because of Rodney King, you know, that was real unselfish, what they did, those jurors, that was wrong. We all feel for Rodney King, and that was the wrong thing for them to do. But we shouldn't have tear down our neighborhood like this, though, you know, because this is our place of residence, and we need all these places, you know. And I don't know, I'm sad. I'm sad to see all this, but this is my neighborhood, you know, and it doesn't make any sense.
All right, thank you, William. One of several comments that have been echoed throughout this community, what he said earlier, and what I spoke with another woman earlier as well. It's a sad commentary. This whole idea is just hurting our own community, something that should be mentioned because most, as the gentleman said, most of these businesses are owned by black individuals. The patrons who shop here are black. The employees are black as well. So we have several hundred individuals who no doubt will be out of work because of the businesses that have been torched. Reporting live from Normandy and Florence in south central Los Angeles, I'm Art Rasco.
If you look behind me a little bit, I don't know if Chuck can pan over here. I know there's some people standing here. You look all the way back, you can see the firefighters, crews up on ladders, trying to get into the building now that it's daylight, now that they can see the situation. And all across this parking lot, there are people. There's even a man further down with a whole bunch of children he's brought out here, and I kind of wonder what these children think and what they'll come to understand as they become older and learn about the events of this past night. So many people out here. In fact, I want to see if I can get this gentleman over here, if we have time, that is. Come on over here for a moment. Hi, I'm Charmaine Wilkerson, Channel 7. What's your name?
Farouk Akmal.
Now, I noticed you brought a whole bunch of children here. Let's see if we can see the kids. Come over here. And I have this question. You know, this has been a crazy night here. A lot of people very upset about what's been going on since yesterday afternoon. What do you think? What's the idea of bringing the children out?
Well, I would like them to understand where they are, where they live, and what type of society this is, and what type of violent society this is. And it's
What do you think of this society and this violence?
Well, I think that basically it reflects basically what happened in court, you know, the verdict that of the beating of Rodney King.
What does this accomplish?
What do you mean, the violence here? Basically doesn't accomplish anything, you know. It's just, but it just shows where people are thinking and what people are holding, you know, and the injustice in the society is being shown through this violence, you know.
Okay, thank you very much. I know you brought your kids out here. A lot of heavy thoughts this morning, and there had been looting people here who, in their own words, have been riding, as it were. They've been to a number of spots. What's your name?
Russell.
Russell, you say you were riding. What does riding mean?
What I said was I was there at the time of the riding. We was, you know, just frustrated, mad, angry, wanting somebody to understand, you know, what the situation is. You have a lot of people giving opinions, but unless you live in the neighborhood, unless you deal with the brutality, unless you deal with the police on a day-to-day basis, you cannot really say what's right and what's wrong. It's not right to hurt innocent people. It's not right to burn down the buildings. But if that's what it takes to get, you know, for somebody to listen and understand us, then that's what we have to do.
So you're saying you want people to listen and understand. At the same time, you're saying you don't think it was right for people to burn down buildings and to hit people, innocent people.
No, I don't think that was right. I mean, but when you have a ride, there's going to be innocent people hurt. There's going to be innocent people hurt. There's going to be probably life, people killed, you know, buildings burned, you know, the whole scene. But when something like this happens, everybody pays. Everybody pays.
You know, a lot of people have been raising questions about the age of a lot of the people who are out there. You're both very young men, and you and your friend here, and people wonder whether you are aware of what the consequences might be of everything that's going on, the burning of the buildings, the businesses, the loss of business in this neighborhood. I want to talk to your friend here. What's your name?
I care to remain anonymous right now.
Okay, well, we can talk. You've been around the city. You've seen what's going on.
Yeah.
You see the Newberries burning down. You see the Viva looted.
I saw a lot of buildings. I'd say over 50 buildings get burnt down tonight. I mean, it's basically upon getting respect, earning respect as far as the black community. We didn't get no respect at the courthouse with the justice and stuff with Rodney King, so I guess this is about the only way we could get it.
But what does burning businesses in the area, loss of life, injury, do in terms of building respect for people in the community? How does that contribute to respect?
Well, this is going to show them that the only way we can get respect is by doing this. I mean, we didn't plan for this to happen. The injuries is going to happen when there's a riot developing, you know.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. You're expressing some anger. You're saying, okay, maybe people will pay attention now. That's what you're saying. Yeah. But what about the community? What about today now, as daylight's breaking? What about next week? Do you use these businesses here?
None of these are. This is not our stuff. This is not our store. We don't
our
own
stuff meaning not black-owned?
Black-owned stores. If there is black-owned stores and they do burn down, I mean, they can't afford to put it back up. I mean, half this stuff is already insured. You know, they can have this back up within a month to a year.
But do you think these people are going to come back? What do you use these businesses?
Yes, I do. And I feel bad enough to see this happening in my own community, considering the fact tomorrow I may have to go out and buy something, and knowing that I got to go to another city to get the stuff that I need, it's very bad on me. But still, if they feel this is the best way of getting respect, if they feel this is right, I respect them for doing it.
Okay, thanks for talking to me a little bit about that. Again, we're standing by 18th and Western. The Newberries, safe on drugs, a number of smaller stores continuing to burn across the street, the same. People working hard, a lot of mixed feelings out here as you hear, still some expression of anger. This is Charmaine Wilkerson reporting live. Back to you in the studio.
Sure. It just seems that every time we turn around, there's another store that's either being looted or burned.
Well,
this one's got hoses on it.
Yeah, we got hoses on it.
First of all, you, sir, you lost your business.
Yes, I did.
What, were you here when it went up, or what happened?
I received a call from my alarm company, and I came here around 2:30, and everything was gone by then.
Now, sir, we spoke with you earlier. You said that you supported the burning and what was going on as an expression of anger. Do you still support it now?
See, this is a result of black babies being born in disproportionate numbers. This is a result of women on birth control. This is a result of more black men in this country in jail than we have in South Africa. Okay, this is a result of inadequate education. Okay, this is a result of getting beat down in the streets like Rodney King.
Is it his fault? Is
no,
it this man's fault?
This is my brother, and I love him, and I'm very sorry that this happened to him. And it's not Rodney King's fault. This is, they kill our babies in the street. They beat black men in the street. There's more black men in jail here than there is in South Africa. Okay, and this is all a result. Black people don't have hate in their heart. We didn't have hate in our heart when we came to this country. Okay.
Okay, sir, what do you think of what he's saying?
I don't want to blame anybody, and I'm not blaming anybody. For whatever reasons that it happened in the country, and if it happened to everybody, and I have to, agree with it. It's not the fault of anybody. It's not the fault of my own community either. I believe it's the fault of the system.
The fault of the system. Can you find some common ground with this man here who says he supports what's going on here? Is there some commonality between you two?
Definitely, yes. Definitely. Definitely. I totally agree with what he says. I totally accept what he says. But
even at the cost of your own livelihood?
It'd have to be. If it have to be, it'd have to be.
Okay, Paul Ann, you heard it right here. We had some people who you would think are on the opposite sides of this issue. Both of them angry at the verdict. Both of them very angry at what they saw earlier, or what they saw yesterday in the courtroom. One man owned a business that lost it. Another supports those who essentially are doing this destruction as making a point about the way people are treated in this country. And they have some common ground. It's kind of an interesting thing that we're seeing here.
That's interesting.
Angeles County Emergency Broadcast System. This is not a test. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is now in full mobilization. All off-duty sheriff's deputies are directed to contact their unit of assignment as soon as possible or contact the nearest Los Angeles County Sheriff's facility. Due to the escalation of the situation and seriousness of the problems that are occurring, the sheriff has mobilized all department personnel. The curfew has been extended to include the entire Los Angeles city limits and to include Los Angeles County boundaries of Vernon Avenue on the north, Lomita Boulevard on the south, Crenshaw Boulevard on the west, and the Long Beach Freeway on the east. The California Army National Guard has been deployed to assist the Sheriff's Department and Los Angeles Police Department in a mutual aid operation to restore law and order and to protect life and property. This concludes this activation of the Los Angeles County Emergency Broadcast System.
That's right, Pat and Carrie. I'm about 8 or 10 blocks from the television station right now, an area that we're all familiar with, Santa Monica Boulevard and the intersection of Santa Monica and Vermont. A building has been set on fire here. The firefighters have been working that building. Another one has just been set on fire on Santa Monica Boulevard. And the entire stretch of Vermont between Santa Monica and Melrose has been looted. We've seen people driving trucks into the front of furniture stores, taking all the furniture out of the furniture stores that are along Vermont. And we've seen the same thing happening along Santa Monica Boulevard. Right underneath me, we have a Sears store that's been looted and also some small shops along Santa Monica Boulevard. A lot of looting. New fires now just being set right here. Firefighters doing what they can with one building, unable to contend with the fire in a neighboring building. In the meantime, we have lots and lots of people on the streets out along Vermont and on Santa Monica, and they have broken into virtually every storefront that they can get into. We all know a lot of storefronts, many, many small businesses along Santa Monica Boulevard and Vermont, and a lot of them happen to be furniture stores, and they have, in some cases now, lost everything.
As I see, you're still out on the streets, although it is a very dangerous situation. Many of these people are afraid. Ma'am, you were out here calling for someone. Come on, let's go home.
Yes, I was. My daughter and grandchildren.
Why are you out here on the street looking at all the smoke, hearing all...
She said that the National Guard was here, and I wanted to see, was it that bad? The National Guard had to come back from 65 here. I couldn't believe it.
Does it give you added reassurance or peace that they are here, that their presence is here?
Yes, because why don't they take it up there where the white people's neighborhood? Why? My granddaughter right here had to go clear across town just to get milk for the baby. Why? Can't even go to work now.
Well, I think you're going to have to ask a lot of the people in this neighborhood who are doing these crimes, and there's absolutely, at this point, many of the people in the neighborhood say there's nothing they can do. I'm Tony Ginyard reporting live. Back to you.
It's a rampage here, and it's gone on for a while. It's followed the same pattern that we've seen before. A big fire gets lit, the firefighters become busy, and then the neighboring stores are quickly drained of every ounce of merchandise. But it's like I mentioned before, you have to sit here and witness little children, women with shopping bags and clothes draped all over their shoulders and arms as they come pouring out of the storefronts. It has no bounds. There is no question about that. It has no bounds, and doesn't matter what part of the city that you go into now, this portion of Los Angeles that's been hit by this is so large that we've crossed all racial boundaries. We are in a predominantly Hispanic part of the city right now at 3rd and Alvarado. And they have been taking everything out of every store. Now they're proceeding to set more fires along Alvarado Street. We have another one that's broken out just in the past 10 minutes or so. Presumably this will be followed by other stores being hit by the vandals and looters because they usually jump from one to another. They've just about cleaned out the one that we've been watching during the mayor's speech.
As you said, this has no boundaries, David. 1955, 1992, and from looking at the scores of children on the streets, you kind of hate to wonder what could happen 20 years from now.
Okay, one of the things you don't think about, Harold, during times like this are the services that get disrupted. And postal service in South Central Los Angeles has been disrupted for the last 3 days. No mail delivery. We're at the Hancock station. The zip code here is 90044. And as you can see, this crowd stretches 2 blocks and around the corner all the way to Vermont and 84th Street. I would guess conservatively that there probably are several thousand people in line waiting to get either their county welfare check or their Social Security check, and we're told that that is the only mail that's going to be delivered today. Now, to keep control of this crowd, we have LAPD officers here, some of them armed with shotguns, and we also have postal inspectors, all of them armed with shotguns, just to keep everybody in step here. Now, they're letting people in 3, 4, 5 at a time. They give them their mail, they come out, then another 3 or 4 or 5 people go inside. Now, let's go over here and talk to a few folks and see how their lives have been disrupted by not getting their mail, and now they've got to get their checks here. Excuse me, can we talk to you a second? Oh, she doesn't want to talk to us. This lady want to talk to us? Yeah. When was the last time you got mail? Oh, here, okay.
What's the problem here?
When was the last time you got your mail?
Tuesday, well, Wednesday before it actually happened. It happened Wednesday, and after Wednesday, everything got out of control. And this is nothing but the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, now, how long have you been in line?
Since about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and it hasn't moved yet.
How long do you think it's going to be before you get inside?
9 o'clock tonight.
Wait a minute, what's that? Come here, come here.
9 o'clock tonight.
Okay, that would be a conservative. Okay, what'd they say?
They said 10 to 2. Everybody gonna get their mail. It's gonna be about 3 or 4 o'clock tonight before it gets mail.
Now, what are you waiting to get?
I'm waiting to get my check.
Okay, how important is? Do you need that check now?
That's right. I got to feed my baby. Plus, they're gonna put me out on the streets.
Okay, there you have it. Wait a minute.
Sweetheart.
What's that?
This is already a bad situation, and we are being more exploded because we are acting like animals, and the feeling of the fact is not.
Well, we're in a little dispute here. Needless to say, tempers are a little short, and one can imagine why, but everybody's here. There is a concern. The post office here is only going to be open from 10 until 2 this afternoon. Obviously, everybody is not going to get inside. Again, you can just see this line, 2 blocks at least, around the corner on 84th Street. And, of course, the police are here just to make sure no tempers get out of control and everything stays calm. But these folks want their checks. They want their money. They got to feed their families. I'm Joe McMahon reporting live in South Central. Back to you in Hollywood.